What's up, Reds faithful? Pull up a chair because I've got three absolutely mental pieces of news that are going to shake the city ground to its very foundations. We're talking about moves that could completely transform our beloved Forest future, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. Picture this, a Brazilian midfielder we all love saying goodbye, a Villa starlet who could fill the boots of our departed talisman, and a defensive reinforcement that could be the missing piece of Nuno Espirito Santo's puzzle. But here's the kicker. One of these stories will leave you heartbroken. Another will have you questioning everything. And the third, well, that's where things get really interesting. Listen, before we dive into this emotional roller coaster, smash that like button if you're ready for the truth. Drop a comment below with your biggest worry about this transfer window. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe because the City Ground rumor mill is about to go into absolute overdrive. But I'm warning you now, Reds faithful, the first bombshell I'm about to drop involves a player whose journey at our club has just come to an unexpected end, and it's going to hit you right in the feels. Right then, Forest family. Here it is, the news that's going to leave half of you in tears. Danilo has officially left Nottingham Forest. Yes, you heard that right. Our Brazilian midfielder has packed his bags and headed back to Brazil with Botafogo on a permanent deal. Can you believe it? The same Danilo who gave us that absolutely stunning volley away at Brentford in January 2024. Remember that rocket that got voted goal of the month? The man who was part of Palmeiras' domestic double winning team in 2022 before joining us in January 2023. Gone just like that. This is hitting different. Reds faithful, we're talking about a player who made 62 appearances for us, scored 6 times, and was becoming a proper fan favorite at the City Ground. 34 games in his first full season in England. This wasn't just some bench warmer. This was a key part of our midfield setup. And here's what's really getting under my skin. Botafogo currently sits 6th in Serie A, and they've just reached the knockout stage of the Club World Cup. They're not messing about. And they've just nabbed one of our most consistent performers. But hold on to your scarves, Forest faithful. Because if you think losing Danilo is tough to swallow, wait until you hear what's happening with our pursuit of his potential replacement and why it might all be falling apart before our very eyes. On. Right, so with Danilo gone and Morgan Gibbs-White potentially heading to Tottenham, don't even get me started on that nightmare. Nuno Espirito Santo is scrambling for attacking midfield options. Enter Jacob Ramsey from Aston Villa and Forest faithful. This is where things get properly frustrating. Ramsey is exactly the type of player we need. The lad can play attacking midfield, he can drift out wide, and when he's fit and firing, he's England squad material. Steven Gerrard absolutely loved him at Villa, and at just $30 million, half of what Gibbs-White's release clause was, he should be a no-brainer, right? Wrong. Here's the gut punch. Transfer expert Graham Bailey has told Nottingham Forest News that while we're extremely excited about Ramsey, we're not exactly confident about our chances of getting him. Can you believe that? We're not even confident about a player we desperately need. And here's why this whole situation is driving me absolutely mental. Bailey said, Forest like Ramsey, of course they do. There aren't many teams in the Premier League who don't. But they're not alone, and I've been told that while they like him, they recognize it would be a very difficult deal to do. So we're basically admitting defeat before we've even properly tried. But wait, it gets worse. Ramsey missed 36 games in the 23-24 season due to injuries. 36. That's nearly a full season on the treatment table. Even last season, he only started 19 Premier League games. Compared to Gibbs-White's 34. The Reds faithful are watching our midfield crumble before our eyes, and the one player who could save us is apparently out of reach. But don't switch off yet, because the third story is about to reveal Nuno's secret weapon to fix our defensive crisis. Forest faithful, this is it, the moment that could define our entire transfer window. While everyone's been panicking about midfield departures and failed pursuits, Nuno Espirito Santo has been quietly working on a defensive masterstroke that could change everything. Pablo Maffeo, remember that name. This 28-year-old ex-Manchester City defender has been on our radar, and here's the beautiful part. RCD Mallorca have just dropped his price from $10 million to $6 million. That's right, we're getting a £4 million discount. Now I know what you're thinking. Who the hell is Pablo Maffeo? Well, let me enlighten you, Reds faithful. This isn't some random Spanish nobody. This is a player with 128 appearances for Mallorca, a former City Academy graduate who's made it in La Liga. He's primarily a right back, but here's the genius bit. He can also play as a wing back if Nuno decides to go with 3 at the back. And Forest family, we desperately need this signing. We've renewed Ola Aina and Nako Williams, but we lost Alex Moreno back to Aston Villa when his loan ended. We cannot, and I repeat, cannot start the season with just 2 full-backs. That's suicide in the Premier League. Maffeo might not be the glamorous signing that gets the transfer muppets excited on social media, but mark my words, this could be one of our most important signings of the summer. Other Premier League clubs are sniffing around, so we need to move fast. So here we are, Reds faithful, Danilo gone, Ramsey slipping through our fingers, but Maffeo potentially coming in to shore up our defense. The question is, will Nuno Espirito Santo and the board act fast enough to secure the deals we need? Smash that like button if you think Maffeo could be a shrewd signing. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you heartbroken about Danilo leaving, frustrated about the Ramsey situation, or excited about what Maffeo could bring to the City ground? The transfer window is far from over, Forest faithful, but these 3 stories show exactly where we stand. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you have to be smart with your money. The question is, will these moves be enough to keep us flying high in the Premier League?